I recently went on the 2-week trip to Guatemala, and it has been phenomenal. I've been back for a few days already, but I still can't get over it. When most people think of Guatemala, they think of political instability, banana republics, a country that struggles with many issues. But in fact, the country is so beautiful and safe. The people are incredibly kind, friendly, and respectful, and the food is absolutely delicious. This trip for me was really spontaneous as I literally booked the flight a week before departure because New York was just freezing. But damn, it became one of the best travel decisions I've ever made and has become one of my favorite countries I've ever visited as a solo traveler. In this video, like usual, I'm going to talk about the food, the history, the people, the culture. But I also want to share with you what I've experienced and how I felt because I felt so much and I want to share with y'all. Guatemala is a country located in Central America, bordered by Mexico to the northwest and El Salvador, Honduras to the southeast. The country is famous for its stunning landscapes, lush jungles, towering volcanoes, and picturesque highlands. Culturally, it's known for its ancient Maya heritage. Before Columbus arrived, the land has been home to the Maya civilization for thousands of years, and one of its earliest and most important achievements was the cultivation of corn. All the local dishes I've tried in Guatemala are served with tortillas made from corn. Guatemala tortillas taste very different from Mexican tortillas. The Guatemalan tortilla is thicker and bigger, with a deeper and earthy flavor. It has a grainy texture and a subtle sweetness. Because of the sweetness and texture, I prefer Guatemalan tortillas and have really enjoyed them. They often come in small baskets, wrapped in a colorful cloth, and still warm by the time you eat them. The Maya began cultivating corn at least 4,000 years ago, and to the Maya, corn is like family. It is the fundamental thing in everything that the people there cannot live without. Grocery stores often sell large bags of corn, and people take it to grind into corn flour, then make tortilla. It is easy to spot girls and women making tortillas in Antigua, or perhaps all over Guatemala. Watching them make tortillas happens to become one of my favorite things when walking in the city. I stayed around Lake Atitlán for about a week, which is a stunning volcanic crater lake that has been home to the Maya for thousands of years. I had a chance to try one of the oldest dishes in the region, a pre-Columbian turkey soup that has been enjoyed for centuries. The Maya cultivated squash, beans, chili peppers, avocados, and domesticated turkeys long before the Spaniards arrived. And this savory, beautifully presented dish demonstrated all the crops they've cultivated, along with this stunning view. The dish itself tasted amazing. It is mild, well-balanced, yet full of flavor. I chatted with the chef a bit and was told that the color of the red sauce comes from annatto, a spice native to the region, tomatoes for tanginess, and chili peppers for heat. During my stay at Lake Atitlán, I had a chance to stay with a local Maya family, who are Cacique, one of the indigenous Maya peoples, and speak their own language, and was fortunate enough to watch the host lady make pulique, a traditional dish with a strong Maya heritage from the Guatemala highlands.
Aquí papas, patata, huisquil es una verdura guatemalteco
Sí.
y zanahoria.
Oh, muy bien.
Y hierbas, cilantro, hojas de cebolla para dar el sabor a la comida.
What intrigued me was the use of masa, or corn dough, to thicken the soup. I helped the lady transform the masa into corn milk, which was later added to the soup to make it thicker. The lady also added annatto for coloring and flavor. Perhaps there was too much water in the pot, but not enough chicken and vegetables, and the soup wasn't concentrated and thickened enough. It turned out to be plain and lacked flavors. Although it wasn't exactly to my liking, the cooking and dining experience with the local family was fun and loving, and it did become one of the memorable experiences during my stay at Lake Atitlán. Guatemala has been home to the Maya civilization for thousands of years, and although it has one of the oldest and most advanced civilization in Americas, colonization, political instability, and civil wars have plagued the country for a long time until 30 years ago. After overthrowing the Aztec Empire in Mexico, the Spaniards set their sights on the Maya civilizations in Central America and began a conquest of the Maya territories in 1523. They initially allied themselves with the Cacique nation to fight against their traditional rivals, but later turned against the Cacique and eventually brought the entire nation under the Spanish colonization by 1541. The Spanish established the beautiful city of Antigua and made it the capital of colonial Guatemala. Antigua is, without a doubt, one of my favorite cities in the world. Every time I walk through the city, I always wonder, how could a city be so pretty, clean, welcoming, organized in its own way, and full of life and love? Not to mention that the foods and coffee there are so good. Although the Spanish brought colonization to the Maya territories, they also introduced a lot of ingredients, spices, and cooking techniques to the region. I've noticed that traditional pre-Columbian Maya cuisine is centered around soups and stews, and this is still true in modern-day Guatemalan cuisine. But what sets the difference is that modern-day cuisine has a mix of indigenous Maya ingredients and Spanish influence. From my experience with cuisine, the more it mixes, meaning more cultural influences it has, the better it gets. The most classic one is the national dish, babien. I walk into this restaurant because the stews in those clay pots look way too invited to pass up. Babien is a hearty and flavorful meat stew. The one I order is chicken. Chicken is a native to Mesoamerica, and it was introduced by the Spaniards following the Columbian exchange. The stew tasted amazing and quite unique, I would say. I like it. The unique taste and texture come from grinding pumpkin seeds into a paste, a significant practice in the ancient Maya civilizations where pumpkin was widely cultivated. The stew isn't spicy but has mild heat and smoky depth, likely due to the pasilla chili that is native to the region. Babien incorporates a variety of ingredients and herbs, such as garlic, cumin, oregano. These ingredients, which brought in-depth flavors and aromas, are the products of Columbian exchange, introduced by the Spaniards from the Old World. To achieve the rich, complex, and in-depth flavors of the stew, you can't just blend everything together. They need to be toasted first to bring out their flavors, and then puree to concentrate the taste and blend them into a cohesive and smooth sauce. Remember the bulgogi soup I had at host families? I believe that the soup would taste more flavorful if the ingredients were puree. Toasting has been a cooking method by the Maya for a long time, while pureeing was introduced by the Spaniards. In one bowl, you can taste a strong Maya heritage alongside the Spanish influence. The centuries-long colonial era has widened the disparity between the rich and poor, particularly between those of European descent and indigenous Maya. It became worse when the United Fruits Company set foot in the region. In order to grow bananas and build infrastructure to transport and export them, they acquired huge tracts of indigenous land without compensation and employed them under poor conditions. The company used its economic and political power to influence the Guatemalan government to adopt tax and land policies that favor its interest. This made the situation worse because it increased poverty among the indigenous and farmers. So the people of Guatemala elected Jacobo Arbenz, who vowed to address the severe land inequality by redistributing lands to the indigenous. The United Fruits, whose interests were directly threatened, lobbied and convinced the U.S. government that the land reform was a communist threat. So the U.S. government decided to initiate a coup to take Arbenz out and back another guy up, which resulting in decades of instability, civil wars, and genocide against the indigenous Maya in Guatemala. Sadly, this century-long colonization and political instability didn't contribute anything to culinary innovation. So I don't have much great food to share when talking about this history. If there's any food impact, I would say it's mostly in seeing American fast food chain around and people visiting pizza and fried chicken shops from time to time. I knew Guatemala has a nickname, Banana Republic, but I didn't know much about the sad and dark events that took place in the country before I visited. I also can't connect the beautiful people and peaceful natures here to civil wars and genocides, as you can't really see and feel the grief that have been carried by them for decades. And the people are so kind, genuine, friendly, and respectful. If you like my video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the next one. I hope to see you there soon. Bye now.